Talk 1580 celebrates small businesses, the enduring lifeblood of our community, with the launch of the KBLA SMB Marketplace. For the first time, small to medium-sized businesses will have an opportunity to promote their goods and services on KBLA and take advantage of our powerful reach and local marketing power. The SMB Marketplace is hosted exclusively on KBLA1580.com and is accessible from all our social media channels. Whether you're a small mom and pop restaurant, a car dealership, or a professional practitioner, we invite you to join in this new KBLA Talk 1580 initiative to promote your business. As a black-owned small business, you don't want to miss this unique opportunity to gain new customers on KBLA Talk 1580. For more information, contact us today at smb@kbla1580.com. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
And if I share with you my story, would you share your shadow with me? Time to get
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Of the psychologists who've dealt with these problems, and there have been many, for me, Carl Jung says the most. Now, I don't present him as a final, definitive theorist. His work is suggestive. This is an enormous subject and full of mystery still. So I want to begin today by briefly reviewing Jung's approach to the problem of the elementary ideas, which he calls archetypes of the unconscious. Now that immediately gives us a psychological ground on which to build, that these are in some way features in the unconscious of the human animal, and experiences that come in through the nervous system are assimilated and interpreted in terms of these psychological ground archetypes. So without further ado, I'll start my little exposition. It'll be a short exposition of the Jungian ideas, and then we will move on to illustrations from, as you'll see, very many different sources of the appearance of these themes. So to begin with, we start with this simple circle here. This is a picture of the soul, the psyche. Plato says the soul is a circle, so here we have it. Now every circle has a center, and that is indicated by the dot in the center there. The horizontal line represents the threshold of consciousness. Above that is our mental waking consciousness, and below that is what might be called the wisdom consciousness of the body itself. The term that Jung uses for the totality is the self. Now this word, the self, in his terminology, is not to be confused with the Hindu Atman, which has been translated as the self. If Atman were what I was talking about, there would be no circle there at all. There would be just a white flash on the screen. The Atman is undifferentiated consciousness.
Take your time.
But what Jung is talking about is consciousness enclosed in a specific human body, namely yours.
Yes, yes.
And it is conditioned in all of its experience and action by the conditioning body in which it resides. Male, female, young, old, healthy, or decrepit one way or another. That is the machine that you've got to live with, and it's with that you've got to deal. There's no use wishing you were, 6'8" tall, blonde, and blue-eyed. The bounds of your experience are indicated by the circle. The center of consciousness is termed the ego. Simply means I. In German, it's the Ich. I have represented this as rectangular.
Wait, did he say in German it's the Ich? No, I'm just... Let me get right to it. I had to play some more Joseph Campbell. He was breaking down Jung's idea of the self, right? The ego. And let me tell you why this is important. Because let me just explain. Listen. The reason why relationships don't work is because most people are self-unaware. If there's a high level of self-unawareness, there will be a high level of self-acceptance. Where there is a high level of non-self-acceptance, there will be a high level of codependency because you will be relying on external sources to extrapolate meaning and happiness. If you understood what he said when he was breaking down these Jungian archetypes, the subconscious is the repository of information, generational information, information about you, the subconscious, almost like your spiritual connection to what many metaphysicists call the Akashic records. You begin to understand I'm bigger than this personality. I'm bigger than this self, right? This is why all of the ancient Eastern belief systems are trying to escape the self and reach divine union with the higher self. Now, there's a movement out there called, decenter from men. In other words, stop making men the focal point for your happiness. And then men, consequently, have their own version, decenter from women, right? And what happens is it looks to me as an inverted form of what psychologists call the enhancement bias. With the enhancement bias, what you tend to do, because you have a vested interest in making the relationship work, what you tend to do is minimize the red flags you see in another person. Now remember, the red flags you see in another person are flags that you know from experience. Right? You understand? Like, this is the relationship as a mirror. You get who you are, right? You're recognizing red flags. But because you have a vested interest in the relationship, you want the relationship to work. So you minimize, right, the red flags you see. And then the green flags you see, a euphemism for the good qualities in the person. You tend to aggrandize those. And this is the enhancement bias, or what they call the honeymoon period. Usually lasts about 18 months, if you make it that long. Now, after 18 months, you start to settle into the truth of who you are. Your partner starts to settle into the truth of who they are, right? We're past the performance. We're past, the pleasantries, and now we can get down to the brass tacks of who we are. Let me just say this. I'm so sick of folk coming in and avoiding the work. To me, decenter him or decenter her as a movement is problematic because it still has the vestiges and the remnants of a potential victimhood mindset. What it does is it flips the enhancement bias in reverse. It's saying, look at what's wrong with them and then don't proceed. Well, damn it, why are you attracted to red flags? I ask myself this all day, every day. Why are you attracted to red flags? What about the red flag is intoxicating to you? See, this is your work. But instead of saying we all got work to do, we're all works in progress, we all need to focus on what is ours to control, we'll create a whole movement. Do you understand? Now, this is what really bothers me. You guys saw the clip of the young lady who used to date Travis Kelce, right? The football player for the Kansas City Chiefs. What's her name? Kayla Nicole. Let me tell you something right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. The girl is finer than Persian frog hair. Boy, the girl, whoo, when I tell you, the girl is beautiful. Hey, hallelujah. The girl is beautiful now. Ain't nobody gonna question how fine she is. Okay? But it's something about this generation or the younger generation. Something's happening. We got decenter them, decenter her, decenter him. But nobody is really trying to decenter themselves, decenter their ego, decenter their wounds. They want somebody to show up in their life already ready and ready to go. I'm looking for a good man. We've been hearing that for generations. I'm looking for a good woman. So I'm listening to the young lady, and she says, do I look like somebody that would go 50-50? It blew my mind. Listen, all relationships are 50-50. You've been listening to goofies out here on podcast, on radio, on YouTube. You've been listening to goofies. Okay? The whole 50-50 argument is dumb. You know why it's dumb? Because black people in general are the brokest people in America. Us as a group. Sure, I can point out Jay-Z. I can point out several billionaires. We can point out black people that are doing well. Sure. Yes, we can. But as a collective, black people are at the bottom of every economic statistic, pretty much. 83 million white households. Damn near 15 million of them white households can touch $1 million. Did you know that? You got white households that can touch 10 million though. If you don't understand the wealth gap, if you don't understand the need for reparations, and you going, do I look like, you mean just because you look like something? How do you make somebody feel? How do you nurture? And I don't know her personally. I'm not trying to besmirch her character. I'm just saying what she led with was her looks, right? I'm not trying to put her down or, reprimand her. I'm simply saying all relationships, if you sit down and go to therapy, they'll tell you this is a dyadic connection. We are connected. It's dyadic, meaning dual. All relationships are 50-50. Meaning you give your 100% to make this thing work, and I give my 100% to make this work, and together we got 200%. Relationships are like music publishing, right? You got 100% writers, and then you have 100% composers, right? If a person, this is why TLC was broke, because they didn't write nothing. But I digress. It's 200% in publishing. Okay? The writer gets 100% if he wrote 100% of the song. The person who composes the music gets 100% if he composed 100% of the music. Relationships work that way. Hey, bring your 100% and team up with my 100%, and we got 200% of the publishing. Let's go. It's dyadic. It's a dyadic experience. But because we are a society that is so damn afraid to do the self-work, to look at self, to conquer self, we got all these goofy little ideations and intellectual traps. Hey, let's create the decenter them movement. When I come forward, I got questions because this is getting crazy.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Tabitha Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You've got a Pepto predicament, moviegoer.
Hey, I can hear your stomach grumbling.
Sorry, I ate that entire tub of popcorn with extra butter.
You overdid it, and now your movie has turned into a blockbuster bellyache. undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can focus on the action on the big screen instead of in your stomach. When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
They call me Drac. Here I come, baby. I ain't gonna bite you. I just want you to hang on. All right.
The Human Magnet Syndrome, the Codependent Narcissist Trap. Not so much by what they see, feel, and think, but by invisible, unconscious romantic forces. The chemistry that love-struck codependents and narcissists experience when they first meet is the human magnet syndrome. Once together, these opposite but perfectly matched lovers are bonded together in a breakup-resistant relationship. The human magnet syndrome begins like an enchanting fantasy, but later unfolds into an endless seesaw of hope and disappointment. Predictably, the soulmate of the codependent's dreams transforms into the narcissistic cellmate of their nightmares. Readers of the Human Magnet Syndrome will better understand why they, despite their dreams for true love, find themselves hopelessly and painfully in love with partners who perpetually hurt them. This breakthrough book will guide and inspire both the layman and the professional. Get it.
I really want people to go get The Human Magnet Syndrome by Dr. Ross Rosenberg. Because what's being described there is the spiritual work that happens in every relationship. Be honest, how often do you hear folk talking about that? You probably tired of hearing it from me, because I'm on every day talking about it. But other than me, who's really digging deep and bringing all these various perspectives on the spirit work that is required? All relationships are 50-50. Do you understand? And it ain't always got to be 50-50 with money. Even though with black folk needing reparations, didn't California and Gavin Newsom and them put together a study to find out how much money and the feasibility of getting black residents reparations. Reparations is an issue. You remember the Freedmen's Bureau? You remember 40 Acres and a Mule? You remember, hey, yeah, it's just a study. It ain't a check yet. Yeah, that means we need a check, though. Do you understand? Do you see that? Oh, okay. 50-50. What does it mean? If you pour into me, I should pour into you. And not by force, right? Not by force, right? But if we are in this dyadic exchange, we've turned it all transactional. I will love you if you prove to me that you love me. Do you see where we are? I will care for you and nurture you if you nurture me. It's a down payment. So instead of doing the work, let's decenter. But nobody's really decentering from the toxicity of the self. You see? This is the big piece right here. When I come forward, I'm going to break this down even further. I encourage you to call in because we're living in crazy times, right? We're living in really crazy times and the relationships are only getting crazier.
Be afraid, 'cause you gotta be late. I did not, don't let me down. You're a low down lady, but your game is kinda shaky. Be around when you want to get down.
All right. I like that. I let my grandmother check that out.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Keke Palmer has been named the first chief brand officer for Cream of Nature, a hair care brand owned by Revlon. With a personal connection to the brand, she will help shape its communication strategy and appeal to a new generation of consumers. Black Cobb County, Georgia Sheriff Craig Owens is under fire for calling deputies to a Burger King dispute over his wife's order. After being denied a refund for an item containing an allergen, Owens expressed regret for his actions, saying, quote, I probably should have just driven off, end quote. His opponent, Dave Cavanagh, criticized him for abusing his power and diverting deputies from their duties. Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff will be in Georgia this week. He'll be speaking at a Harris campaign event in Savannah on Thursday. Emhoff plans to encourage voters to vote early for Vice President Harris. The Mall of Georgia is celebrating a milestone anniversary this week. It marks the 25th anniversary since the location opened. The mall will have special vendors, music, and family activities on Thursday night. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
September 15th to 21st is Asthma Peak Week with the highest concentration of asthma flare-ups and hospitalizations. To become a more active participant in your care, visit luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
I need you, dollar, that's what I need.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates small businesses, the enduring lifeblood of our community, with the launch of the KBLA SMB Marketplace. For the first time, small to medium-sized businesses will have an opportunity to promote their goods and services on KBLA and take advantage of our powerful reach and local marketing power. The SMB Marketplace is hosted exclusively on KBLA1580.com and is accessible from all our social media channels. Whether you're a small mom and pop restaurant, a car dealership, or a professional practitioner, we invite you to join in this new KBLA Talk 1580 initiative to promote your business. As a Black-owned small business, you don't want to miss this unique opportunity to gain new customers on KBLA Talk 1580. For more information, contact us today at smb@kbla1580.com. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
And if I share with you my story, would you share your shadow with me? Time to get
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, just call 687-246-9655 to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Jeff Davis. I believe my daughter should inherit something, but not the role and responsibility of burying me. That's why I have a pre-need burial insurance plan through Harrison Ross Mortuary. Their plan offers me 4 payment options. 1, pay in advance, or pay over 3, 5, or 10-year time periods to keep the payments affordable. Contact the professionals today at Harrison Ross Mortuary. We can be reached at area code 310-704-4901. That's 310-704-4901. And ask for me, Jeff Davis. Thank you.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GPA.
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Man, where my skates at? I'll be skating on this.
If you're anything like me, you've been seeing the word limerence all over social media for the past few months. And because I had no idea what it was, I had to do some research. The term limerence was coined by American psychologist Dorothy Tenov in the early 1970s, and she defined it in her 1979 book, Love and Limerence: The Experience of Being in Love. Tenov described limerence as an intense and involuntary state of mind characterized by an overwhelming desire for reciprocation from a specific person. Tenov developed the concept of limerence after interviewing over 500 people on the topic of love in the mid-1960s. She defined limerence as a state of profound longing, intrusive thoughts, and heightened emotional dependence on another person. In other words, it's love addiction. And I personally would even go as far as saying that limerence has more in common with a trauma bond than it does with being in love or even having a crush on someone. And to give you more context, limerence is when we have an intense, almost instantaneous infatuation with someone else. And this extreme excitement or lust is exacerbated by our concern about whether or not they feel the same way about us. One example of limerence is when Michael from The Office falls in love or lust with the chair model. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but it's intense. He's completely obsessed with her, and he can't think of anything else for that entire episode, even though he doesn't know her, and she most definitely is not interested in him. Also, we find out she died in a car accident years before he knew of her existence, but that's a good example of kind of the experience that we're talking about here. That instantaneous, gotta have it, obsession feeling.
And isn't that most of the relationships? I remember back in the days when we saw Hollywood couples get together, break up a few months later. That was strange for us. Just regular folk watching TV. Wow, that relationship is over already, huh? It was strange. Now, all of the relationships seem like they suffer from some variation of love addiction, love bombing, breadcrumbing. Like, it seems that it's gotten more and more toxic. And like I said in the beginning, most people don't understand the spiritual nature of relationship, which is designed to reveal you to you. Then you take responsibility for what comes up in your subconscious, which was laid out by Joseph Campbell in the first clip on the show. The topic: don't decenter them, decenter yourself. Now, you heard from yesterday's show and last week's show. Did you know your wounds could color how you see and perceive people? So some decentering has to happen. Decentering of the ego, decentering of childhood wounds, unrequited hurts. All this has to be decentered. Nope. No. We're not going to decenter any of that. What we're going to do is decenter the person that comes into our life that irritates those things. Do you see? Don't decenter them, decenter your ego. Decenter your unhealed wounds. Wounds are supposed to be healed. They're not supposed to be in a leadership position within your spirit. A lot of thought is being given to women decentering men and men decentering women. But perhaps there's a deeper problem to be spoken of, decentering of the self, and ultimately the ego. Well, first, we need to define what the self actually is. According to Jungian philosophy, the self is a term that merely designates the whole personality. Put another way, by contemporaries like Jiddu Krishnamurti, you already know that's my guy, the self, or the name that identifies it, right? Or the name that identifies itself with the body, certain characteristics identifying itself with the me, who I think I am. Well, if you have an attachment style with subsequent attachment wounds, even who you think you are isn't what you really are or what you're really capable of, because you're seeing yourself through the filter of deep-seated issues. Now, The way we've been conditioned is to expect somebody, right? I'm sorry, is to expect somebody to show up and fit into your conditioning. You're not even psychologically set up to accept yourself, but you want somebody to accept the conditions you place on them. I mean, the wounds that haven't been dealt with, placed on you, that you now place on. Do you see the foolishness? Do I look like somebody that would go 50-50? I mean, look at me. Do you? I'll keep going. Simply put, it is a way of distinguishing oneself from the larger ethos of humanity or the society in which you live. Being able to clarify who you are, where you came from, and what came with you. Boy, you know how many people don't know what they brought with them to that relationship? Because it's all operating in the subconscious, on autopilot. Do you know how many people are just unaware? It makes relationships so very difficult to deal with. How does Carl Jung's concept of the self as the whole personality challenge the idea that decentering should focus on the ego rather than the relationship itself? Sounds like Zoe Williams. Didn't Zoe Williams tell y'all, go into every relationship self-observant? Keep an eye on how you're going to show up and how you're going to respond. But again, we live in a world that's backwards. In our world, it says, I didn't sign up for what you're supposed to be giving me. Now, listen, I didn't sign up. I signed up for something different. What you're actually giving me is different than what I signed up for, is what I'm trying to say. Like, we live in a really topsy-turvy kind of world. Is the ego always the enemy in relationship? Or does it sometimes serve as a necessary protective mechanism for self-preservation? How might understanding the me reshape the way we engage in intimate relationships? Can one truly decenter the ego without recognizing the illusions that sustain it, as Ramana Maharishi suggests, through self-inquiry practices? I know, listen, I deal with people every day. Do you know how difficult it is for people to just sit down and go, wow, this is a heavy mother wound I've been carrying? I was just talking to a young brother today. He's in his 30s. I was like, you talk to your sister? Nah, man, it's been a couple years. What? He said, bro, okay, bro, I understand. I said, man, the world we live in is moving so fast, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Nah, you right, bro. You right, big bro. I'm going to reach out. Yeah. Sometimes we make more space for the wound than we make for real connection, man. In what ways do attachment styles, as explained by Bowlby and Ainsworth, reveal the relationship between ego and self-centeredness in romantic relationships? Listen, there's a movement out here. Decenter him. Is that not implying that whoever him might be, that he is the problem always? If you're going to start a movement, and it's a gender-based movement, hey, decenter him. And then the brothers, in their brokenness, flip it back. Hey, okay then, decenter her. And we never get to a point where we can come together and heal. And I love Barack Obama. I swear I do. But he's not helping. I love him, but he's not helping. As if we're not struggling with a gender war already. You gonna pop out and bang on the number 2 supportive gender group for the Democrats, which are black men. 2020, black women showed up 97%. 2020, black men showed up 88%. You gonna bang on? You're not gonna say nothing about the 53% of white women who voted for Trump? As if we ain't got a gender war on our hands already. Boy, when I come forward, I swear I'm going to the phone lines. Let's get it!
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelenos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
Chevy, all the things 2024 Truck Season Radio 30, code GWMR0294000.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You'll be able to, or you can even just, with impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains, Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Title of our presentation is Enhancement, which is about believing the best. Everyone wants to believe the best about their relationship, and this is called the enhancement motive. The individuals in every relationship want to believe that their relationship is worth their time and energy, and that their partner is good and trustworthy. So this motive leads to enhancement bias, which is the tendency to seek out information that strengthens these desired beliefs about their relationship.
An example of this can be found with Yumi and Endo's and others' research study, which was a cross-cultural study that looked at the positive illusions and relationship-serving biases among a particular section of college students in the University of British Columbia. These participants were of Asian Canadian, Japanese, and European Canadian descent. The researchers hypothesized there would be some kind of cultural confounding factor that caused individuals of certain backgrounds to have higher enhancement biases towards their relationship with their best friends, a closest family member, and a romantic partner. However, that was not the case. They found that across all.
So again, the enhancement bias. You want to believe the best. Now we live in a time, well, I don't want to believe the best. I want to look at the negative aspects of this person, and I will judge if I should go forward. But I keep telling you, relationship is a mirror. What you recognize in others exists in you. Many people do not want to accept that. You got so many people out here that want to shut the relationship is a mirror talk down. But that's how it's that's how it is. That's how it works in the universe. As above, so below, as above. Right? What about entanglement? Yeah, quantum mechanics, entanglement. Oh, so two electrons can be entangled? Oh, absolutely. Yes. And once they become entangled, no matter of distance between them will prevent them from having instant communication. So if one entangled particle is 1 billion trillion light years away from the other, and how it operates in quantum mechanics, electrons have something called spin, and this is why they liken them to tops. They don't actually spin, but this is how theoretical physicists envision their movement. So one could have a north node spin, one electron, and the other could have a south node spin, right? If you change, regardless of the distance, even Einstein went to his death trying to disprove this, and he lost that battle, legendary battle against Niels Bohr, who saw Einstein as a rock star. He was a younger physicist. If you change one electron from north to south, the other one instantaneously flips. That challenged Einstein's speed of light notion. You say, hey, what moves faster than the speed of light? Obviously, consciousness. Well, relationships are working the same way. Relationships are mirrored just like those electrons are. And you have to remember, physics deals with the physical world. That's why it's called physics, how reality works. But somehow this doesn't apply to your relationships. I guess consciousness doesn't apply to your relationship. I guess you could see the devil in somebody, recognize the devil, and not have the devil in you. Listen, let's make it simple. Go watch The Exorcist 1973. Go watch any Exorcist movie. Why is it that little possessed person always got a demon in them that know all the secrets of the reverend? You remember that girl you killed? You can't come in here and exorcise me. Relationship is a mirror. That's what make those movies good, by the way. Do not listen to him. He's a liar. No, you remember you killed that girl. You know the exorcism wasn't working and you went on anyway. The doctor told you. Listen, that's what it is. We don't want to believe in the mirror of relationship, but that's how it works. You get who you are. We've got callers on the line. I want to get them in here right now. Who do we got? Let me get them right now. Who do we got? Okay. Nazarene X, Atlanta, Georgia. Get in here, bro.
What up, huh?
What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Bruh, I think society needs to grow up, man. This whole thing just got me, you know, I'm laughing it all off in my head. It's reminding me of that character in Django that Samuel L. Jackson played. Like, who that ninja on that nag? Like, you need to get off your high horse. You know, like, all type of stuff. Like, man, I hope your character come with a kickstand because it's going to be crazy out here. This whole planet's spinning.
Yeah.
It's going to get loopy, you feel me? So,
yeah.
Man, I applaud you for having the fortitude and just the sane mind and the clear thought for you to be able to dive in and deal with this type of crap.
Because we need
a lot
each
of us
other.
out here don't even want to hear it. Yeah, for sure.
We need
You
each
think
other.
So, dude.
Man, we need sisters. Brothers need sisters. Sisters need brothers. But for some reason, we want to decenter each other.
Hey,
man, stay with me. Don't go nowhere. Don't go. When we come forward, I'm going back to Atlanta, Georgia. Let's get it.